In 1960, archaeologists in Shanxi province broke the seal on a subterranean corridor that had been silent for over 1,200 years. A moment of wonder. As their lights cut through the dust, they realized they had found one of the most well-preserved royal burials in Chinese history. The chambers were filled with over 1,000 artifacts, from gold and silver vessels to rows of tricolor glazed pottery. The walls featured vivid murals of elegantly dressed female court attendants, indicating that the occupant, Princess Yongtai, lived at the absolute height of Tang Dynasty elite society. A stone epitaph found inside the tomb provided a specific account of her end. The inscription stated that the 17-year-old princess died in the year 701, succumbing to complications during a difficult childbirth. The physical evidence presents a consistent, if tragic, narrative. Between the lavish grave goods and the formal stone record, we see a young royal who died of natural causes and was interred with the full honors of her station. But there is a second record. The Ziji Tongjian, a foundational chronicle of the era's history, documents the events of that same day in 701 through a very different lens. The written record claims the princess did not die in a birthing chamber. Instead, it states she was ordered to commit suicide or was beaten to death by palace officials following a direct imperial decree. The motive recorded in the text was lèse-majesté. The teenage princess had reportedly been caught gossiping about the youthful male favorites of her own grandmother, Empress Wu Zetian. This creates a friction between our two primary sources. If the tomb and the scrolls offer irreconcilable accounts of the same event, it suggests that history here isn't just being recorded, it is being managed. To understand why a teenage princess might be a target, we must look back to 675. Crown Prince Li Heng, the eldest son of Wu Zetian, met an end that established a grim precedent for the royal family. Li Heng was a vocal critic of his mother's administration. He specifically challenged her heavy reliance on a network of informants and her use of brutal purges to consolidate power. At age 23, the prince died suddenly during an imperial tour. The official court annals attributed his death to a long-standing battle with tuberculosis. Many historians doubted the official cause. Given their political friction, they argued Wu Zetian poisoned her son to remove a rival. As the only female emperor, her position was uniquely vulnerable. She maintained her station through systematic elimination, neutralizing anyone who showed signs of dissent. In this environment, proximity to the throne was a danger. For members of the imperial family, having a direct connection to the empress was often their absolute greatest liability. This brings us back to Princess Yongtai. If she had been executed for treason, her presence in this prominent satellite tomb makes little sense. Under imperial protocol, traitors were not granted such prestigious placement within the sovereign's mausoleum complex. The timeline of the burial provides context. While the princess died in 701, she was not interred in this specific tomb until 706. In those 5 years, a coup took place. Wu Zetian was dead, and her father, Emperor Zhongzong, regained the throne. The new emperor wanted to honor his daughter, but a public admission that she had been executed for gossiping would be a reminder of the family's previous weakness and disgrace. The exceptionally opulent tomb and the stone epitaph citing childbirth were likely a coordinated effort to rehabilitate the family's image. By presenting her death as a natural tragedy, the emperor could mourn her while projecting an image of dynastic stability. In this light, the tomb functions as a political restoration. These artifacts were used to overwrite a moment of family shame with a narrative of royal honor. We must also consider the bias of the written record. Chronicles like the Ziji Tongjian were compiled by conservative Confucian scholars who viewed the past through a specific moral lens. These scholars generally found the concept of female rule offensive. It is possible they emphasized or even embellished stories of Wu Zetian's cruelty to ensure her reign would be remembered as a period of illegitimacy. Both our sources are managed. The scrolls were written to vilify a female sovereign, and the tomb was built to sanitize the trauma of a surviving family. Yet beneath the layers of revision, a single truth remains. Whether the princess died in childbirth brought on by the stress of an arrest, or by a direct order of execution, The cost of absolute power was paid by the empress's own descendants. History is often a contest of narratives. For those who rule, controlling the story of the dead is just as important as controlling the lives of the living.